Hello. Hi. Good evening, all. How are you people doing? I'm Sobesh Ranjan from Soil School of Inspired Leadership, and I am from the admission team over here. Uh, we are conducting this webinar to understand how anybody can crack the soil admission process. Okay. So before I'll take you to the admission process, I like to give you the brief about what this all stands for, what kind of people we look forward to. So, so in nutshell, if I have to explain that, basically eligibility criteria that we look forward to is any candidate should have 2 years of work experience, 60% during their education. So in soil, eventually we offer two programs. One is the executive program in the business leadership, and another one is the executive program in HR. So in business leadership, the eligibility criteria, which I said, the 2 years is mandatory. However, in for the HR program, it is a desirable. So anybody from 0 to 2 can also apply if the candidate able to perform in further steps of the selection process. Now, coming to what kind of the people will look forward to it. So basically, we have very holistic approach to select candidate, even to nurture them. So we are not looking only for the IQ. Normally, any B school or any college look for the IQ in the candidate for the selection process. But we also give equally weightage to the EQ. EQ, what is the EQ now? EQ basically ability to lead people, team player. There are many other traits that comes under the EQ. So we give the equally importance to the EQ compared to the IQ. So as our name states, it's a school of inspired leadership. So we look for the people who are inspired to become a leader, who have. So how you become a leader? So to become a leader, you should have certain values. The values may come from that you should give value to society and many other aspects. Now, coming to the program, this is the fast-paced one-year program. So that is why we look for a certain kind of people who can adapt to the space. So they should have certain kind of adaptability among them. So that kind of people will look for, and that we evaluate the candidate during our uh, selection process or admission or selection process that I will cover later on. Coming to that, apart from this leadership which are top, we also look for the right kind of attitude. People should have the right kind of attitude. They should have the positive attitude. They should have attitude towards learning. They should have right attitude towards the peers. So because over here, a lot of learning will be done to the peer-to-peer learning done because everybody will come from having 2 years of experience with a diverse uh, culture, diverse profile they must be having. So you have a chance to learn, and probably you will have to learn from your peers. So we give a lot of weightage for the peer-to-peer learning. So we evaluate the candidate uh, during our selection process. That candidate should have flair of peer-to-peer learning. This is these are all the characters that we look for in our students. So how we evaluate candidates. So in our selection process, quite very simple. First you need to fill our application form. You have to provide the basic details. Then you have to share your profile with us. We evaluate your profile whether your profile is suitable for this program or not. Once it is once experts go through your profile and they say yes, your profile can be considered for this program, then we'll ask you to pay the application fees and proceed further in our application form. So once you pay the fees, you will have option to choose the start date. We call it soil talent appreciation test that you have to take online. And then you have to come for the once you're done with that, then you have to come for the face-to-face interview. Sometimes we take over the Skype interview as well, which we call it as talent appreciation test. And once you go through these two, then we evaluate your profile and we, whether you get selected or you don't get selected, we give you the result to it. So now coming to this soil talent appreciation test, what exactly it is, what we test in this. So basically, in this, we look for we evaluate candidate on the various parameters. Those parameters are like how any what I've covered is how, your various characters will be or traits will be evaluate like how well you are assertive, your resilience, your emotion control, eco drive, empathy, your how you manage your relations. I mean, how social you are, accommodating you are. So your creativity, flexibility, risk-taking ability, whether you are motivated to do things or to learn new things, whether you are, I mean, your decision-making capacity, analytical skills, verbal abilities, spoken English, quantitative aptitudes. This will be evaluated during the start. So it's basically 1 hour 40 minutes test, online test where you have to go through the multiple questions where it's categorized into 4 sections. One is the psychometric where you have to, I mean, it's a situation based what you will do in certain situation. You'll put in another situation in what you will do in that. So you have to, choose, answer, what are the answers given to you and accordingly you will be evaluated on that. Next is the verbal ability test, where you will be tested on your grammar and all those. Third will be the quantitative, where you will be tested on the quantitative or critical. Fourth would be the logical reasoning, how well how equipped you are with your reasoning and all. And third was the quantitative, where how well you are with the mathematics. So these are the 4 components that we tested on the soil talent appreciative test that we call it STAT. This once we get this result, and then you will be called for the interview. You will be interviewed, whatever the result we have. But I mean, you will be tested again on whatever the result we have. We will do the re-verification. Basically, during the interview, it is basically we will test on your 4 things. That we call it the capacity of the pillars. That 4 pillars we call it like capacity to think, capacity to learn, capacity to relate, and capacity for the action. I mean, capacity to the first one was there's a capacity to learn where we test you whether you are open for the new learning and all or not. So as I said earlier as well in SAT, you will be tested on openness for the learning. So again, you will be tested again over here, asking the different question, putting in the different situation. So you will be tested on whether you're open for the new learnings or not. Second, capacity to relate. Why we test on that? Relate is, I mean, what you have done. You must have done something. I mean, 2 days back, or you've done some job which didn't do well or do well. So whether you relate the things or not, whether you learn from the mistakes of your, what the right thing you do, you learn it from there or not. So it is for relations. How you relate with your previous failure or your success, and how you move on, how you improve yourself. That is relate. Third one is think. Whether you able this is related with the critical thinking in a situation where you are single dimension or the multiple direction, where yes problem comes to you for the multiple option, then you choose the best one for it, or you have a very singular direction mindset where you will be doing in certain things in a certain way. That is called we judge you on the capacity to think and capacity to action. In this, we test you whether you are good in action as well or not. I mean, there are people who are good in planning, but they are very bad in education. I mean, implementing those plans. We test you on whether you're good in the action or not. These are the few things. These are the four broadly we look for. Test you during the interview. What are the factors whether you're motivated, whether you're ethically correct or not? We test you over there. So this is the broadly our selection process where, and after the once you're done with it, and within a 2 weeks we will evaluate your. You will be marked on each section or stages of your selection process, and we make a cumulative score of it, and then we decide whether we give you the offer later on. So this is in very nutshell. I have explained you about the admission process and the value. So now I leave this floor open for the question and answer. If you have any confusion, you have, and you want to ask something, you can drop a message over here at the chat window. I will be happy to answer those. So I was, meanwhile, if you have any question, you can put it on the chat box. Meanwhile, I like to inform you that our admission process uh, is live. We are approaching our first deadline, that is 12th of October, and we have multiple scholarship scheme as well, and the scholarship scheme is linked with the early application. So I would recommend everybody to fill the application form, go through the selection process, and if you get selected, enroll yourself to become early. For the scholarship. Over here, there's one Karishma who have want to know this placement practice for working employees with thesis for the work experience of 4 years. Typically, what we have is, from the last 3 years, if I have to give the trend, typically people from 2 to 4 years of work experience come here with typically 4 to 5 lakhs. That's the remuneration they must be having, 5 lakhs per year, and they see a jump of at least 8 to 9 or more than that, depending upon the individual capacity. So it's over the last 3 years. The people have seen the jump. At least they have doubled their package over here. So as I said, like in deep, business leadership program that we run, it is the average is 10.11, and for the HR we have the average of 8.2. So combining together, it is 9.3. That is the average we have over here. I hope I have answered all to Karishma. Anybody have any other questions? Just to further illustrate, give you the brief for the placement over here. Uh, as I said, during the our selection process itself, as I mentioned in the beginning itself, the eligibility is 2 years with 60% is throughout your education. So if you have this kind of profile, I mean, it's most likely to get absorbed somewhere 9 or 10 lakhs per annum. But however, the highest, just to mention, it is 16 lakhs per annum as per the last year data. Any questions do you have, on the admission process? If you have any question, uh, over here, Santanu have asked question. There is any GD round as well? No, I mean we don't have the GD in our selection process. We have, as I said, uh, SAT, I mean SAT exam and the PI. Because during the PI you will be evaluated on your spoken English and the critical thinking. So have we don't have the GD because I mean we don't have the room for the GD because our pedagogy that we follow is very different from the probably I mean most of the B school. Over here we believe more on the learn while doing rather than the classroom teaching. So if I have to name, we have a learning through the theater. So there will be theater workshop will be there where we will try to find out uh, I mean, your strength in you rather than the finding out or pointing out the weakness. So in our selection process, we focus on the strength of the individual candidate because after you get into the soil, we make individual learning plan and we focus on the strength. So this you need to identify your strength during the selection process and then we make the individual learning plan for each one of it. And in individual learning plan you will have two mentors. One is the external from the industry and one is the internal as a faculty will be there. As you all must be knowing, we are I mean funded by the consortium 32 companies, so people will come from there. There's no I mean preparation required for this SAT exam, as I said. However, uh, just to give you the clarity, and the psychometric test is like situation where you will be asked what you will do on this situation, and there will be multiple question answer will be there. You have to pick one. However, the quantitative and the verbal. The level of difficulty will be at the GMAT level. So, I mean, it's a basic mathematics will be there, and the basic English will be there just to check your grammar in English. So, is not extensively preparation is required for that. But yes, probably, I mean, while taking the SAT exam, you need to be focused. All I can say so. So, any other questions you have? So, how many people are over here who are taking the interview on 21st? So, whoever are having on 21st, I would like to say, I mean, you by now you must have taken the SAT exam. Now for the interview, as I said, uh, you will be tested on the I mean the four capacity that I've talked about. capacity to learn, capacity to relate, capacity to think, and capacity to action. So these are the like if I have to tell you, so you will be tested on this four parameter whether you have uh, ability to learn the new things or not, whether you relate your actions with your previous actions or not, and then you learn or not, whether you have capacity to think or not. Critical thinking. In a situation, in how many ways you can think of, and capacity to action, whether you are good in only the planning or whether you believe in the implementing as well. So your, what I recommend, your answers should be around this four pillars. So that would be my, advice to you people. If people who are having interviews on 21st. So any other questions you have, you people? Any questions related to admissions or any question related to the college? I'm open to it. I would, I will please to, clarify your doubts related to anything, because I believe everybody should take informed decision. When it's coming to the probably the education, because this higher education normally people takes once in a lifetime. So that's how I believe in. So if you have any question, you can try to ask. See, basically, scholarship. See, you need to understand the basic condition for the scholarship. It is like for the scholarship, you need to, get the offer at the earliest. A deadline, however, is in January for the scholarship, but it will be given the preference to have applied early and gone through the selection process. That's condition number one. Coming to the, there are the five category of the scholarship. So there are, each scholarship have the different numbers to it. Vikram, the scholarship, it is related to the army. Anybody, any student coming from the army family, they are become eligible for this. So for more details, you can go through the website and you can find the details of brochures. It is complete details are there. If you are at what condition and you are eligible for what amount. So that is the Vikram, for the scholarship. Uh, oh my I one gentleman have written you will be sabbatical from your company. Uh, I don't see. As far as my knowledge is there, I don't. There's any. I don't see there's any clause for. Any people coming from sabbatical, but I need to reconfirm with the placement team for this. I need to reconfirm with them, but I don't see there will be any problem during the placement. But I would recommend you can contact the counselors, and then you can get it verified or get it. You get the information, right information. But as far as my understanding and my knowledge is concerned, I don't think there will be any issue in placement. However, the academics you are required to be in the campus. It's a full time. There's no. Just to clear the air, it is not a part time or weekend class. It's a full time 1 year program. So you are required to be in the campus. Any further questions? Yes, I mean, there's a two-way of two method that we use for the PI. One is the face-to-face, and anybody who's not able to come for the face-to-face interview can opt for this Skype. So that's not an issue. See, I see. Basically, people always have this. I mean, misunderstanding of the PI. I have seen people who say, I mean, they have never asked me about, I mean, the panelists never asked me about me. But it's a two-way of evaluating. One way is if I am the panelist, then probably one way of doing it, I will ask about you and I will pick on your experience and try to understand what you've learned from your mistake or your success or further things. This is one way of doing. Second way of doing is I will put you in a situation and how you react to it, and then I analyze. Let's, if I have to take an example, let's take an example that I mean I will put a picture and I will ask you to depict what you think of what you take away from this, how you tell a story about this picture. Various people have a different way of saying and telling the story. Each story will tell the, I mean, the quality or the mindset of that person. So that how it get evaluated. So it's it is depend on the panelist how the panelists try to evaluate evaluate the candidate. So it can be from your life experience, it can be from the situation based. So you need to understand, as I said earlier as well, you will be evaluated on the four parameter. That is, I again repeating, learn, relate, think, and action. So any questions will come. You need to understand you're getting evaluated on these four parameters. So that is all. I mean, any further question we have? So, if you people don't have, any further questions, good luck for your 21st. And lastly, what I will say is, be yourself. Don't try to pretend that you're. I mean, don't try to make a picture that interviewer is looking for this kind of persona, and and don't try to become the one. Whatever, whoever you are, be the one, and that will sail you through the API. Whether, as one gentleman asked, it will be from the individual life experience or it will be case scenario. So, I mean, anything. I mean, if you're giving you the case scenario, just put yourself over there and see what you will be doing at that moment of time. So it will answer most of the questions. So my genuine advice would be yourself, relax, take questions at a time, and take it further on it. That's with my genuine advice. So, any questions we have as of today? So if you people don't have any question, then we will be closing this session. In case if we have any further question later on, you can always get back to us. You have our email ID, that is admissions with s@soilindia.in. So you can always get back to us. We will be happy to answer those questions. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'll just wait for another half minute if anybody have the question. If not, then we will close the session. So I guess there's no any further question. So I think we should close this session. We'll be conducting more this session. I mean, dot clearing sessions in coming days. So anybody, any of your friend wish to join, they can join. You can pass on information. You can follow us on our Facebook or the LinkedIn, where we will be social media. They can follow us and they can get back. Thank you. Thank guys. Have a good day. Bye bye.